Hi, Mr. Allen again in his library. My son has borrowed my camera, my good camera, so it might look a little bit different today. But I'm going to do another read aloud for you. Today it's Arnold Lobel's Frog and Toad together. Okay, looks like that. It's HarperCollins, the publisher. Okay, and if I need my other camera, I'll go get it. But a list. One morning, Toad sat in bed. I have many things to do, he said. I will write them all down on a list so I can remember them. Toad wrote on a piece of paper, a list of things to do today. Then he wrote, wake up. I have done that, said Toad, and he crossed out, wake up. It's always to start your list with something easy, right? Then Toad wrote another thing on the paper, a list of things to do today. Eat breakfast, get dressed, go to Frog's house, take walk with Frog, eat lunch, take nap, play games with Frog, eat supper, go to bed. There, said Toad. Now my day is all written down. He got out of bed and had something to eat. Then Toad crossed out, eat breakfast. Toad is so organized. Toad took his clothes out of the closet and put them on, and then he crossed out, get dressed. Toad put the list in his pocket. He opened the door and walked out into the morning. Soon Toad was at Frog's front door. He took the list from his pocket and crossed out, go to Frog's house. Toad knocked at the door. Hello, said Frog. Look at my list of things to do, said Toad. Oh, said Frog, that's very nice. Toad said, my list tells me that we will go for a walk. All right, said Frog, I'm ready. They sound like really good friends. Frog and Toad went on a long walk. Then Toad took the list from his pocket again and crossed out, take walk with Frog. Just then there was a strong wind. It blew the list out of Toad's hand. The list blew high up into the air. Help! Cried Toad. My list is blowing away. What will I do without my list? He is so distressed. What do you think he's going to do without his list? Let's think about it. Hurry, said Frog. We will run and catch it. No, shouted Toad. I cannot do that. Why not? Asked Frog. Because, wailed Toad, running after a list is not one of the things I wrote on my list to do. Frog ran after the list. He ran over hills and swamps, but the list flew on and on. At last, Frog said to Toad, I'm sorry, but I could not catch your list. Blah, said Toad. I cannot remember any of the things that were on my list of things to do. I will just have to sit here and do nothing, said Toad. Toad sat and did nothing. Frog sat with him. After a long time, Frog said, Toad, it's getting dark. We should go to sleep now. Go to sleep, shouted Toad. That was the last thing on my list. Toad wrote on the ground with a stick, go to sleep, and then he crossed it out. Oh, there, said Toad. Now my day is all crossed out. I am glad, said Frog. Then Frog and Toad went right to sleep. Lists are good, but you need a list for everything you do? Probably not. But that's okay that you have a list. But you got to be, you know what flexible is? You got to be a little flexible. Okay? The garden. Frog was in his garden. Toad came walking by. What a fine garden you have, Frog, he said. Yes, said Frog. It's very nice, but it was hard work. I wish I had a garden, said Toad. Here are some flower seeds. Plant them in the ground, said Frog. And soon you will have a garden. How soon? Asked Toad. Quite soon, said Frog. Toad ran home. He planted the flower seeds. Now, seeds, said Toad, start growing. Toad walked up and down a few times. The seeds did not grow. Toad put his head close to the ground and said loudly, Now, seeds, start growing. Toad looked at the ground again. The seeds did not start growing. I think he needs to be more patient. Toad put his head very close to the ground and shouted, "Now, seeds, start growing!" Frog came running up the path. "What is all this noise?" he asked. "My seeds will not grow," said Toad. "You're shouting too much," said Frog. "Those poor seeds are afraid to grow." "My seeds are afraid to grow?" said Toad. "Of course," said Frog. "Leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them. Let the rain fall on them. Soon your seeds will grow." Yes, be nice to everyone, even seeds. That night, Toad looked out his window. "Rat," said Toad, "my seeds have not started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark." He went out to his garden with some candles. "I will read the seeds a story," said Toad. "Then they will not be afraid." Toad read a long story to his seeds. Seeds are good for, or stories are good for kids. I don't know if they're good for seeds, though. All the next day, Toad sang songs to his seeds, and all the next day, Toad read poems to his seeds, and all the next day, Toad played music to his seeds. Toad looked at the ground. The seeds still did not start to grow. "What shall I do?" cried Toad. These must be the most frightened seeds in the whole world." Then Toad felt very tired, and he fell asleep. "Toad, Toad, wake up," said Frog. "Look at your garden." Toad looked at his garden. Little green plants were coming up out of the ground. "At last," shouted Toad, "my seeds have stopped being afraid to grow." "And now you will have a nice garden too," said Frog. "Yes, you were right, Frog, but it is very hard work." All right, those are the first two stories from this wonderful book, Marta Lobel, Frog and Toad Together by HarperCollins Publishing. I'll read some more of that, but those are the first two stories. Awesome. All right, that was your story time. See you next time, guys.